A child's developing self is like a sapling that requires adequately balanced sun, water, and pruning to grow into a tall and strong tree. Some plants bloom best under the shade, while others require more sunlight. Nurturing it with the right ingredients by sensing its needs make the roots strong enough to weather the winds and stormy days. Isn't this true? Our children are like plants and they bloom best when we are able to provide them that right balance of love, warmth, support, care, instilling values, even telling them, critiquing them when they go wrong. But it depends upon what my child needs and how much my child needs it. As parents and teachers, you would have seen around you children, despite being perfect in almost all domains, academic performance, extracurricular, social interaction, may still express or verbalize lack of confidence. While some children, despite being good in some areas but maybe not so good in other areas, may still have a good confidence. And why is that so? That's because the difference is having a healthy self-esteem. And the difference between confidence and self-esteem is, while confidence is a skill which can be built at any stage of life, self-esteem is a positive evaluation of one's own self. How do we perceive our own selves? And that depends upon the kind of communication, the kind of mirroring that we give to our children. And which is why as parents and as teachers, we need to be quite mindful of the fact of what is it, how is it we are communicating to shape, to nurture a healthy sense of self-esteem. Let's look at some of the red flags if a child is struggling with a low self-esteem. One, it could be the fact that the child sees his or her performance overly critical, which means despite giving their best, they are not happy with it. They still continue to feel that they did not give their best, that they couldn't do it, that they can't do it, and it almost seems like a failure. Makes it very difficult for them to snap out of it, may have longer periods of brooding about it. They may also begin to have negative belief system that I am not competent, I'm not good enough, even in terms of body image. A lot of teenage years, young adolescents tend to have low confidence about their own body image, and that happens because of the kind of comparisons, the kind of messages that we hear from peers, from parents, even media for that matter. And the way they begin to verbalize self-doubt in their own performance, in everything that they do, whatever that they do, they begin to question their own self, their own efforts, their own capabilities, their own potential. And yes, sometimes they may also lack the social skills required to sustain, initiate, and maintain friendship. Often we think that making friends, sustaining friends is something that comes naturally and easy to all of us, but that's not true. And which is where our role as a parent and a teacher comes in, that we need to be vigilant of the fact if your child is going through any of these red flags, this means that your child is struggling with low self-esteem. One of the easiest ways to sort of assess this is also asking your child, give your strengths and your limitations. So if a child has a long list of limitations and weaknesses and is finding it very hard to talk about one's strengths and qualities, this means your child is somewhere struggling with low sense of self-esteem. And which is where, what is it that you can do as a parent and a teacher to boost, to shape a healthy, good self-esteem? First, make them aware of their strengths and their qualities. Every child has some characteristic strengths. Every child has some qualities, and it's very important that we talk about them who they are as an individual, segregating their performance, their behaviors, all of those things, and focusing on the right kind of values that they show, the right kind of perseverance, honesty, caring, all of these qualities that they show in their day-to-day life. It's very important to also reinforce that. It's important that we also talk about those things, because that's what helps shape a child's value system, a child's sense of self in a much stronger way. Secondly, when you recognize that your child does have negative self-esteem and self-belief system, sit with your child, talk to them through it, where you help the child see the evidence in terms of what they are doing and what could be the reason of why they may be feeling a certain way about themselves, that they may be looking at themselves in a much more incompetent, unhealthy way, and help your child work on that part. And at the same time, continue to show your support. It's about, like I said, the right balance between showing the child and giving the child the positive strokes, but at the same time, yes, helping them also see the good qualities about them. Because if your child has a good, healthy sense of self-esteem, they are going to be confident individuals.